Splatoon Raiders is one of the best games on the Switch too, and with all of this hype, this will likely be many people's first Splatoon game. So today, I'm going to share 25 tips that can help you out on your playthrough. If you enjoy and want more content from me, I'm a high-level Splatoon speedrunner with 6,000 plus hours in the series and 11 years of experience with many more Splatoon Raiders videos in the making right now. With that all out of the way, let's get into the tips, shall we? Number 1. Collect the compass and scroll in every level that has them. The compasses unlock new levels that give you an upgrade point for beating them, and the scrolls can give you more shards by talking to Big Man. It's also good to know that just breaking the crate containing these items is enough, as when you beat the level, all materials and items will be collected at once. Bonus tip. If you're backtracking to get some items, you can quit out once you find them and you will also collect it, saving you a bit of time. Number 2. It's easy to forget, but check in with Big Man every now and again. By playing through the game, you'll fill out his research. You can get rewards like shards and other resources by filling these out, which will be very useful in making those builds. Number 3. Don't try and main one tank throughout your whole playthrough. This is a trap I fell into. By leveling up your tanks, you can eventually mix and match the gadgets from all of them together, making a more complete build. Number 4. Sometimes you'll find yourself with a weapon that you like and will want to stick with it for a while, but it's important to constantly switch around what weapon you're using. You'll get higher level weapons throughout your playthrough, and it's basically required to upgrade to them when you can to keep up with the harder levels. Number 5. If you're struggling on a level, I would highly recommend revisiting what upgrades and relics you have equipped. Sometimes I found myself accidentally keeping some stuff on that was useful for a previous level but has no effect on this new one. Number 6. Find your favorite showstopper and stick with it. Side note, I had to look up what they were actually called since I kept calling them ultimates. The Shiver, Fry, and Big Man showstoppers are really powerful and they can be upgraded the more you use them. This will take a bit to happen, so I'd recommend picking one and staying with it for the whole game. I say all this because the endgame really spikes up in difficulty, so I highly recommend having an upgraded showstopper for it. And since leveling up Deep Cut takes so long, it's very unlikely that you'll have one maxed out going into these hard sections if you keep swapping them around. If you're wondering what my personal ranking is, I'd go Fry, then Big Man, then Shiver. But they're all pretty much equal, so just pick your favorite. Number 7. Don't be afraid to back out of a level if you realize the weapon or gadgets you're using aren't the perfect fit for it. You'll get all of the loot you've collected once you leave. There was one moment in my playthrough where I spent 15 minutes on a level with the dynamo roller, which wasn't my best idea. Something tells me picking dynamo for this was not my best idea. Be smarter than me. Realize when there's a better way to do things. Number 8. Have an internal list in your head of bosses that you have to kill first. This will help not make the game as overwhelming. The 3 bosses I always try to kill first once they show up are the Smoker, Flyfish, and Stinger. Smokers add a huge amount of defense to enemies, and the Flyfish and Stinger have annoying attacks that can hit you across the map. Get these guys out of the way as soon as you can. Once they show up, they're public enemy number 1. Number 9. When facing off against the seasoned Salmonids for the first time, try and focus them down and ignore everything else. The raid ends anyways once they're killed, and with the strict time limit you have, every second not shooting them is time loss. Of course, it's not a hard rule and you will need to kill other bosses, but be mindful on how the clock is looking. Number 10. Utilize the robot in combat. It's easy to forget that it's there, but it can come in clutch. Sometimes you're in a tough spot with your gadgets on cooldown. That's when you call in the robot to do a bot jump. There's very few enemies in the game that can hit you while you're in the air, so take advantage of it. Number 11. Remember to go back and get the relics you might have missed. Sometimes you'll stick to a tank for a little bit too long. Then, when you go back to another tank, you won't have all the relics you could have. My recommendation is to get every relic of each tank when they become available so you can guarantee that you wouldn't have missed anything. Number 12. This might sound stupid, but use literally everything at your disposal. I have seen way too many people play and forget to use some of their gadgets because they get stressed. Sometimes that does happen, but you're fighting an uphill battle throughout the entirety of your playthrough, so use everything you can to close the gap. Maybe it will help you clutch up a fight. Number 13. When using a showstopper, you can't build another one while it's active. So most of the time, it's better to leave the power eggs laying around while the showstopper goes to town. Then pick them up after it's over so you can build your next showstopper. Number 14. Use presets. Oh my god, use presets. These allow you to save multiple builds at a time. Tank, gadget, bot buddy, relics, everything. I personally like to have one preset for each tank and a pure movement build for the platforming levels. Number 15. Learn how to double bot jump. This is a technique where, while in combat, you jump on top of the robot, then press X again to call it. Then while it's in midair, you can jump on it again. This can be used in the platforming levels to do some cool skips, and can be used in the dungeons to quickly get a lot of heights, allowing you to be safe from most attacks. Number 16. If you're using a Switch 2 Pro controller, I'd recommend using the GL and GR backbinds. With how chaotic this game can get, taking your finger off the right stick in order to use a gadget or call the robot can kill you. I personally have X on GL and A on GR. It'll be a steep learning curve, but I think it's worth it. Number 17. Changing directions while in ink can be very slow, but Nintendo actually added a hidden technique to make it way faster. By holding down the gadget button, you can go in and out of squid form almost instantaneously. This is called sub-strafing, due to the fact that this is normally done with sub-weapons in previous titles. This was originally a bug in Splatoon 1 that eventually got patched into the game by Nintendo. Number 18. Slam lids can be some of the most annoying bosses in the game due to it crashing down in a tight situation, but we can actually use this against them. If you can get other boss salmonids and lessers in the crash radius, you can purposely send it down and let it one-shot its own kind. Number 19. There's a fun crane minigame you can play if you go to the very top of the raft. You can get many materials for future builds, as well as being a nice place to chill after a tough day of raids. Number 20. When you see an orange box below the Go Help icon, you should probably go help. This will put you into a random player's game and you can assist them out on a level. Not only is multiplayer Raiders really fun, but you also get some insane rewards from doing it. So go help out your fellow mechanics every now and again. Number 21. Splatoon Raiders multiplayer has level scaling for each player, not a multiplier. This means that when you're playing with friends higher or lower level than you, you will still face enemies for your skill level, so don't be afraid to play with everybody. Number 22. When playing the big crystal levels, make sure to get the 2x bonus every time. You get an insane amount of resources from doing it, and that can stack up during a playthrough. It might take slightly more time, but while others have to grind for their spiralite shards, you'll be swimming in them. Number 23. Gadgets don't use ink. This will be really obvious for many of you, but for us veterans, it can be easy to connect gadgets and sub-weapons as the same thing. They are basically their replacements. However, don't be conditioned to think that you can't use your gadgets because you're low on ink. You still can. Number 24. Revisit old gadgets you haven't used in a while. You could try out a gadget early on and immediately write it off as underpowered because it doesn't feel that strong. Well, be sure to come back to them later when you have new upgrades and give them a go. Maybe it'll become one of your new favorites. I'm sorry, Booyarang, I was not familiar with your game. Secret bonus tip 25. If you're waiting for the showstopper to be over before you can move on in a sub-layer, you can actually jump off the map to cancel the showstopper early, saving you a bit of time. Just make sure you don't accidentally die. And those are all the tips I have for you. I hope they help you out in your adventures in the Spiralite Islands. What tip did you find the most useful, and do you have any that I didn't share? Leave them down in the comments. If you want to check out some more Raiders content, I recently did a video ranking every gadget in the game, which you can check out here.